Okay, so The Dead Thing, right? This is the new film from Elric Kane, who co-wrote the film with Webb Wilcoxen. It is produced by Matt Mercer and Monty Yazzie. It's executive produced by Rebecca McKendry, associate produced by Ian Brannell, and co-produced by Sarah Roscrans and Webb Wilcoxen. Michael Krasner and Robin Vinning took care of the music. Cinematography was from Iona Vasily. Star Roscrans also took care of the editing. Casting was David Guglielmo. Production design is Graham Hart. Parker Jesse Chase is costume design. Kylie Chavez Grus is hair and makeup. And our cast. Okay, so Cara. Well, no. Alex is played by Blu Hunt. Her best friend, Cara, is played by Catherine Hughes. We have then got Ben Smith-Petersen as Kyle. Right? He is a co-worker in the coffee shop, played by Emily Joy Lemus. Alex has a co-worker called Chris, played by John Carner. There is Cara's ex, Paul, who is played by Brennan Measure. There's Mark, played by Joey Millen. We have got Sarah, played by Ariel Washington, and Sally Sum, who is another girl that Kyle dates. Right? Yeah, that's everyone. Now, the gist of the story. Okay, so a young woman lost in a series of meaningless connections falls in love with a charismatic and sensitive man who hides a dark secret that turns her affair into a dangerous obsession. Oh my gosh. Sorry, people. Man, just got out from the cold. Jesus Christ, it's cold outside. Oh man, so yeah, The Dead Thing. Now, this is I feel it's like I think it's the full film from Elric Kane, but it's the first that he has directed on his own. Three of his others he directed with Alexander Greenhow, and he made a documentary on his own. Right, so yeah, this film it's an interesting one, right? Because it's dealing with some interesting issues, right? Love. I mean, love's an interesting one, but the toxicity of relationships, whether they're friendships, you know, platonic, friendships, right? Familial, and then you've got those love interests, right? Also, co-workers and all of that kind of jazz. So it's dealing with these different things, right? And what that takes from you, right? So Alex, as mentioned, she's not able to attach to people, right? Just is using a dating app. I think it's Flick Station. I think that's what it was called. And she just swiping away, meeting different people, having one night stands, right? And that's it. Now, this film, I think we really do get a really interesting performance from Blu Hunt, right? Because in those hookups, a lot of times we're kind of looking at her and you've got someone behind her kissing her neck, right? Or maybe they're in front of her and we see her head over their shoulder. But there is a void expression in her eyes, right? That she is just not there. Doesn't even seem to matter where these people are touching her. She's just not about it. You know what I mean? But then she will turn and act like, okay, yes, we're making love. Right? And then she just, after it's done, they're asleep, she gets up and leaves. That's it. And I think for the first, maybe half an hour, there's hardly any dialogue, right? Hardly any dialogue. But we get a lot from these, interactions, this body language, and that was handled very well. I thought that was handled well. And then she, meets Kyle on one of these apps and they seem to hit it off, right? Now, I think it's like with a lot of toxic relationships, like domestic abuse, you talk to a person and they're like, but they love me, but they're doing it for these reasons, but because of, oh, it's my fault this happened. There's all these excuses. As a person is hypnotized, right? They do something, right? They take something from the other person. And with this one, we don't really explore what is being taken. Now at one point in the film, there is a time situation, right? That's as far as we seem to get. But they do not explore the hypnotism. You know what I mean? Or you go, what is Kyle getting from this? Because we hear of what's the expression? Like, people can be like energy vampires. That's it, energy vampires. And it's like, is that what Kyle is? But we don't really know. It's one of those things that are left there. There are these relationships, like the relationship between Alex and Kara. Alex, like she says at one point that she's just staying at Kara's until she finds what she, gets on her own feet, right? Works things out. But we don't really know what she's working out. She's been there 2 years. So what is she doing? We do not explore this. Their relationship, their dynamic doesn't really get explored. And that's the thing. Like, I feel there's elements in this film that really could have been fleshed out, right? The relationship between Alex and Kyle. Like, give us more here, because I say it gets to the therapist and then doesn't go over, right? I don't know if it even gets to the therapist, right? it's just kind of teased the potential of what this is and what this could be exploring is kind of teased. We don't go any further. Right, the other things, right? What are the anchors? And that will make sense once you watch the film, because it's like, what's the anchor here? What's the thing holding someone to a certain thing? Because you kind of assume, oh, is it a location? Right? Is it that? But then, we have incidents other places, and you're like, oh, so it's not that. So it's what's the thing? What's the thing holding that person to? And also, how is it that this is happening to one person? You know what I mean? And, we then see it potentially has happened to someone else, but it's like, why? What about other people? You know what I mean? Like, what about them? What is the thing that causes this? We don't really know. And that's the thing. There's a lot to love, right? It's a complex thing. It's a complex emotion. So if we're touching upon it, give us all the different facets. And we don't. It's just a little one-dimensional with that, And that's a shame, because it could have been more, right? It could have been more, but it's just not. It's just not. We did... man, like there's there's a series. It was on Disney Plus, right? It was on Disney Plus, and it was vampires. God damn it. I cannot think of what this film was called. I feel it was like Torn, something like that. And it was very good because it dealt with like this relationship and everything. And I think that film did a better job of showing more of the nuance of the thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I cannot. Man, the name, I had it and it's just completely gone out of my friggin' head, which is such a pain. Such a pain. But yeah, it's fine. Right? The dead thing is fine. It's like the title, The Dead Thing, because it could refer to one thing, but it could refer to that thing inside, right? Where you're not able to connect with people. You know what I mean? So we have these things that are like, oh, that's interesting, right? We have these things that are interesting, but that's as far as it goes. It doesn't delve more. And that's what we really, really want it to do, to delve more. And, right, when you look at the other films that Elric has done, he's done, it looks like they're all on the erotic scale, which is fine. But watching this, you kind of feel, I don't know if we needed all the nudity. You know? I don't know if we needed that. Like, because there's shots where you just got Alex's head and shoulders. And just in those shots, you get it. Right? So, having her breasts on the show, don't really need it. You know what I mean? Don't really need it. So it just feels a bit like, why? Like, why? And obviously she did it. It's not like she's forced to do it or anything, though. Right? When you're actors looking for work and there's only so many roles, you may feel like, I gotta do it. Even though I don't particularly, in an ideal world, I wouldn't. Right? When you think of all the actresses in Game of Thrones, right? After the show blew up, so a lot of actresses that were then like, yeah, I'm not getting naked anymore. Right? Yeah, we're done with this shit. So that's the thing. It's just like, did we need those scenes? I don't think we did, but that's me. That's me. I will say again, Blu Hunt did a very good job of the... Because she had to kind of give the impression of, like pleasure. And she did do that very well. She did give, a realistic portrayal. It wasn't over the top, So yeah, like there are some very well done elements of the film. As a whole, it doesn't quite deliver for me anyway. But yeah, I think, if you like an erotic thriller, maybe, right? Maybe The Dead Thing is for you, and it's dropping on Valentine's Day, right? Perfect. So yeah, it's on Shudder. And if you love horror, I'm sure that's what you've got. So yeah, The Dead Thing. Enjoy.